Have you ever spent money on a pickup truck and later discovered it was an annoying joke? This may have even happened with one of those popular American pickup trucks. So we've researched and revealed the top 15 worst American pickups with all their hidden issues and flaws exposed. Get ready to be shocked. Number 15. Chevrolet CK Series. If you're wondering why we classified this truck as a worst, let us explain. As we all know, the Chevrolet CK Series from 1973 to 1974 was part of the third-generation lineup of trucks made by General Motors. These models had a distinctive square-shaped appearance on both ends and included some unique body features that were refined through wind tunnel testing. Chevy added a helpful feature called the Eaton Automatic Differential Lock to some pickups that year. However, the problems with the Chevrolet CK Series started showing up when people found out that it tended to rust and corrode. On top of that, some owners had trouble with their electrical systems, things like wonky wiring or gauges acting up. Plus, brakes weren't always perfect. Sometimes they didn't work as well as they should have, like a mushy pedal, or leaked brake fluid, which isn't good either. And lastly, if you own one of these old Chevys, chances are at least once you'd face transmission troubles, such as gear slipping around or leaks sprouting where no oil drips ought to be coming from. Number 14. Ford F100. Next on our list is the Ford F100. It's a truck that was part of the fifth generation of Ford F-Series trucks, made from 1972 to 1975. The cool thing about this model is it belonged to a group that included other models like the F350, F600, and even the big boy, the 700. Underneath its hood, you'd find an engine built by Mexican engineers at Ford with a V8 with 335 cubic inches, making it super powerful yet efficient for those long drives across the country. The body panels were also pretty amazing because they're designed to be durable and resist corrosion, so your pickup will last longer than others. On top of all these great features available for standard purchase from dealerships worldwide comes another upgrade known as Explorer Special. This package added unique exterior colors plus upgraded interior finishing touches too. Although the F100 truck had many great qualities, people eventually began to dislike it. This was around the time when gas prices were on the rise and new federal regulations for fuel efficiency and emissions were being put into place in response to an oil embargo from 1973. Since the F100 was a heavier truck, it had some trouble meeting these strict rules that required improved efficiency. Additionally, at about 100,000 miles of use, some owners noticed that their trucks experienced issues with broken coil springs, which needed both replaced if one broke. The cabin space inside wasn't as roomy compared to its larger siblings, the F250 and F350 models. Moreover, this model didn't offer engine options like other vehicles within Ford's popular series, except for introducing a brand new V8 engine option, mainly reserved only for medium-duty work purposes. Number 13. 1961 Corvair Pickup. The Corvair is a car that was once quite popular, but it became infamous in GM's history. Why, you ask? Well, there was this guy named Ralph Nader who wrote a report saying that the Corvair was super dangerous to drive. That hurt its reputation and sales plummeted. To try and boost popularity again, they came up with an interesting idea: make it into a pickup truck. But unfortunately, the little six-cylinder engine just couldn't handle all that weight. They even added this weird ramp on one side, which made things more complicated than it needed to be. All in all, turning the Corvair into a pickup turned out to be pretty disastrous. Number 12. 1972 Ford Courier. The 1972 Ford Courier was a small and sturdy pickup truck made by Mazda but sold under the name of Ford Motor Company. The outside design had simple lines which gave it an honest, no-frills look that embodied its philosophy at that time. Its boxy shape with round headlights and modest grille captures your attention effortlessly. The inside may not have been extravagant or luxurious, being basic yet practical enough to suit everyday needs. But the 1972 Ford Courier had some big issues. People often complain about engine problems, which are common in old cars. Some people experience things like the engine misfiring or overheating and even leaking oil. Others struggled with their transmission. It wouldn't shift gears smoothly or leaked fluid. Plus, brake troubles were a real concern for people driving this truck. If your brakes aren't working right, you could be in trouble quickly. Drivers saw all kinds of brake issues on these trucks, like leaky fluids and worn-out pads that didn't stop them as well as they should have. Overall, not ideal for worry-free driving around town. Number 11. Dodge D100. The Dodge D100 was a classic pickup truck that made its mark in automotive history from 1974 to 1978. The D100 came in different body styles, but one favorite among crowds was the swept-line bed option because it looked good while also being practical. The 1978 model year offered numerous powertrain options, including robust V8 engines for those who wanted more power under the hood. In fact, back in '74, when this truck first hit the market, they introduced an incredible engine, the mighty 440 cubic inch, as an optional upgrade. Another cool feature that debuted with these trucks is called Ram Charger, which allowed customers to add on either a hard or soft top bed cover and 2 rows of seats onto already short wheelbase full-size pickups. But the trouble started when Dodge D100 owners began experiencing issues with their electrical system, like faulty wiring or problems with lights and battery. Some drivers also complained about engine performance troubles such as difficulty starting, decreased fuel efficiency, and a lack of power during acceleration. Furthermore, many people owning these vehicles found themselves dealing with suspension concerns that include excessive bouncing while driving or challenges keeping control on rough roads. And after some time passing, using it for daily commute may cause signs of wear inside. Such interior woes could range from broken seats to cracked dashboards, along with malfunctioning gauges and controls. Number 10. 1976 Dodge Adventure SE. One thing that makes the 1976 Dodge Adventure SE different from other trucks out there is the extra gauges inside. You wouldn't find those in just any old D100 pickup. Another unique feature pioneered by Dodge was the Club Cab, which gives you more room behind the front seats. This particular version of the Adventure SE has all sorts of fancy options, making it one seriously loaded up ride for its time. But unfortunately, there are more disadvantages to this product than advantages. Users have reported that the tires wear out quicker than they anticipated, and some people had trouble with stalling or acceleration-deceleration problems while driving. There were also cases where fires started in the engine without an obvious reason for why it happened. Additionally, a few car owners dealt with their steering wheels locking up, which could lead to losing control of their vehicle on the road. Finally, sometimes drivers found themselves unable to rely on either their headlights or taillights when behind the wheel, making it much harder and dangerous to drive at night. Number 9. Ford Ranger. The Ford Ranger was made in the early 80s and is a kind of pickup truck that's sold by Ford Motor Company. You can get it in North or South America with the name Ford Ranger on it. The very first version had different engines you could choose from, like a 4-cylinder engine that was 2 liters big and gave out 73 horsepower, another 4-cylinder one called a 2.3-liter engine, which had slightly more power at 79 horsepower. For only 2 years, 83 to 84, there was also an extra choice, this time for a diesel fuel type machine. Looking back then, people said the design on those trucks looked pretty clean cut, but useful too. They were shaped so their front end didn't have curves all over. It was all good with the Ford Ranger until people started having trouble with the fuel system, like problems with the fuel pump and carburetor. These issues could lead to a bad ride, hard starts, or gas leaks. There were lots of other reported issues too. For example, often people needed to replace their engine gauge. Back in 1988, there was an issue that cropped up around service brakes on some trucks where certain parts would wear out quickly. Finally, some drivers said they noticed the hesitation and jerking from time to time when driving, sometimes followed by 5 or 10 minutes of smooth sailing before their engine conked out completely. Number 8. Dodge Dakota. The next truck we'll talk about is the Dodge Dakota. It came out in late 1986 as a model for the year after, and it's kind of like a medium-sized pickup from Chrysler's Ram division. From 87 to 91, you could choose between 2 engine options, either get one that had 6 cylinders with 3.9 liters, which equals around 239 cubic inches, or go for something bigger with 8 cylinders if you wanted some extra oomph. The first version of this truck was pretty innovative because it used rack and pinion steering technology, which meant turning would be smoother than older trucks that used different methods. In addition to these cool features though, there were other advancements too back then, such as electronic fuel injection. But unfortunately, this particular car also received lots of negative feedback due to various issues reported by its owners. Lots of Dodge Dakota owners had problems with their engines. They also complained about the body and paint job on their trucks. Some people noticed that the roof's paint was fading away, while others saw rust on the wheel wells. Plus, some users talked about engine issues and other things wrong with how their truck looked or worked overall. Number 7. Ford Lincoln Blackwood. The Lincoln Blackwood was a fancy pickup truck with a cargo bed made out of plastic materials that measured 4 feet and 8 inches long. The exterior of the bed had an African wenge wood design, which gave it a cool woody look alongside aluminum strake inlays. Inside, this luxury vehicle boasts leather seats and wooden accents along with communication systems, plus several places to store your stuff. What's really unique about this particular truck is its trunk area, or should we say bed. Instead of using traditional tailgates, they installed 2 switch-out Dutch doors for easier access. Unfortunately, the Blackwood pickup truck didn't do so well in the long run. One of its main problems was how it was designed. Instead of a traditional open bed, it had a covered trunk that came as standard from the factory without any clear explanation as to why. This lack of options made things difficult for people who wanted more flexibility and space when hauling cargo or passengers around. The motorized cover on top of this unique attribute provided some extra convenience, but overall, there just wasn't much room to work with inside, especially compared to other trucks available at the time. Adding insult to injury were production issues like delays in assembling parts by Magna International Inc., which ultimately doomed this vehicle after only 1 year on showroom floors worldwide. Number 6. GMC Sonoma. The GMC Sonoma is a pickup truck that was made from 1981 to 2004. They used to call it the S15 when it first came out. One cool thing is that there were different engine options available for these trucks. In 1991, they had a base model with an inline-4 engine that was 2.5 liters big. But if you wanted more oomph under the hood, you could get one with a huge V6 instead. And get this, depending on what year and trim level of Sonoma you got, you might be able to choose between manual or automatic transmission too. Now you might be wondering why we put this on our list. Well, it turns out that there are some real worries about the insides and engine of the Sonoma truck. Some people have reported problems with head gaskets, which can cause leaks and make your engine get too hot. Lots of people also complain that their automatic transmission was slipping or breaking down earlier than expected, sometimes even shifting rough or not at all. And if you've got manual transmission, you can end up having trouble changing gears or wearing out your clutch faster. But wait, there's more. Users found issues with steering like shaking and feeling loose while driving. Plus, many had to deal with parts inside their car wearing down fast. Things like seats starting to fall apart or dashboard pieces getting damaged over time. So yeah, these may not be features you want in a new vehicle. Number 5. 2005 Chevy Silverado. The 2005 model of the Silverado truck is known as one of the worst ever made. It's hard to believe that it was even allowed to be sold with all its problems, like bad brakes, seat belts, wheels, and more. Clearly it wasn't ready for production yet, but people didn't realize it until too late. When this truck first came out, there were a lot of complaints because something just seemed off about it. As time has passed, Chevy has improved their trucks overall, but if you're looking for an older model, try not to choose the 2005. Trust us on this one. Number 4. 2006 Dodge Ram 2500-3500. The 2006 Dodge Ram 2500-3500 comes with 2 engine options. A 5.7-liter Hemi V8 engine, which can generate up to 345 horsepower and has an impressive torque of 375 pounds per foot. Or there's also the option of choosing a more diesel-heavy performance from their Cummins-fueled model boasting numbers like 325 horsepower as well. If you're curious about weight limitations when driving this beast, know this. Even if it's fully loaded in its most powerful configuration, it won't weigh over 7,000 pounds at all times. But some people were not very happy with it. They had issues like bad wiring and lights that don't work right or problems with power windows and locks. Also, there have been reports of problems with the transmission, which could make driving difficult. Some owners even reported trouble stopping because their brakes failed or made annoying noises when they stopped. Number 3. 2003 to 2006 Chevrolet SSR. The Chevy SSR was inspired by those classic pickup trucks from the 1940s. Underneath all that coolness though, this car packs quite a punch. The 2003 and 2004 models had super powerful V8 engines with rear-wheel drive. They were based on another popular vehicle called the Trailblazer. One downside to the SSR was its interior quality. Because General Motors wanted to keep costs down for this limited production ride, less than 9,000 were sold. They didn't use top-of-the-line materials inside the cabin. Some people have had problems with their cooling system and transmission. Others reported water leaks around the windows of their car, but this doesn't happen often during normal driving. If you're rough with your door handle instead of using it properly to unlock the doors, it might cause issues on the 2003-2004 models as well. Some drivers have mentioned trouble with clutches too. Finally, one thing that's been noted about the 2006 model is fuel system troubles. Number 2. 2008 Chevrolet Colorado GMC Canyon. The Chevrolet Colorado is a pickup truck that was supposed to replace the popular Chevy S10. At first, everyone thought it would be even better than its predecessor. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. One major issue with this truck is its inline 5-cylinder engine. While driving, there's an annoying shaking sensation, and it takes a lot of effort for the unique engine to get up to speed. As a result, many drivers have complained about their experiences with both the 2008 Chevy Colorado and GMC Canyon models. To make matters worse, owners also reported problems with overheating caused by faulty cooling systems designed for average operating temperatures. In short, not exactly what anyone had hoped for from such promising vehicles. Number 1. 2015 Dodge Ram 2500. Dodge makes a really good diesel engine for their big trucks that no one else can top. This engine is tough and works hard. When buying the 2015 Dodge Ram 2500 truck, there are different engines to choose from, but people have said that the diesel one is better if you want it to last longer because it has fewer parts that could break. However, some buyers have reported issues with durability like body damage, even though this truck was made for work. Also, sometimes its turbocharger doesn't always work right, and transmission clutches may need fixing too. Another complaint was about power equipment not working correctly either. Overall, Dodge makes great trucks, except maybe avoid getting the 2015 Ram 2500 model, specifically so as not to experience these common problems mentioned above. If you found this video informative and engaging, we encourage you to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you.